Waiting for my guest, Chuck Sanders, on KST Global Stream. This is Orlana Darkins Jury, down with ODD. Just waiting for him to connect on.
Here we go. Welcome.
Hey, I apologize. I'm not tech savvy. My sister's trying to figure out how to put it on my iPad, but
Look,
on my
that's
I'm on my
why
phone.
I start early.
Good. Okay. I'm trying to get it on my iPad or my phone.
Okay.
I mean on my iPad.
Let me know when you're comfortable, when you're ready.
Okay, cool. I think you're ready. I mean, maybe we can start on the phone, and then when we're ready, we'll switch over.
Okay. All right.
How you been?
It's cool. I mean, we can see you clear. So it's cool.
Okay, as long as you can see me good. Okay.
Yep. All right, cool. Like center it on your face. There you go.
I'm ready. Here we go. I'm really showing my age right now.
So everyone, welcome to Down with ODD Community Conversations. My name is Orlana Darkins Jury. I'm the Deputy Director for Kelly Strayhorn Theater. And I come to you live on IG every Wednesday at 2 p.m. for a few minutes just to showcase some of the movers and shakers in our city and nationally. And Pittsburgh-based professionals who are operating on a national level. This program is brought to you by KST Global Stream. So today, I'm so excited to introduce to you, many of you know him. He's almost kind of like the mayor of Pittsburgh. Chuck Sanders is the CEO of Blackburgh Corporation.
Hello. Good to be here.
Thank you. Thank you so much for taking time to join me today. Before we get into what Blackburgh Corporation is, you are a former Pittsburgh Steeler who in 2009, you founded Urban Lending Solutions, the nation's largest minority-owned settlement services company. So how did you transition into that line of work?
Well, it wasn't by choice. I mean, one thing about the NFL, you don't quit the NFL. The NFL quits you. So I went in for practice, and they told me we don't need your services no more. But all seriousness, I had my degree in business administration and marketing. I was fortunate enough to play in the NFL. It wasn't a plan of mine. You don't go to Slippery Rock University really planning on a professional football career. But it was a wonderful opportunity, a wonderful networking opportunity. But when I got there, I knew it wasn't my career. It wasn't what I wanted to do for a career. That, I'd play for a little bit, use that platform to open some doors. I made sure I went to all the, networking events and all that, and using the name, and down the road, it helped a lot. But I always planned on being in business. My father was an entrepreneur, and he was a businessman. So that's what really excited me. So the transition actually started from the beginning. I knew football would just be a platform into business.
And you mentioned your father. I was going to bring this up later, but this being an entrepreneur, being a business owner is in your blood. You grew up, your parents were business owners.
Absolutely. And I think that was, I know that was the main reason why it's in my blood. I mean, I just, when you grow up in a household where your parents are entrepreneurs, my father was an entrepreneur, my mother was an entrepreneur, she had a Christian bookstore. It just changes the way you look at things. I mean, and I would just be so proud. I would remember back then there wasn't no direct deposit or none of those things.
Right.
I would be so proud. I just remember my parents, my father, when it was payday, the truckers would just line up in front of his office, walk in, get their little vanilla envelope with their money in it and leave, and their families would go off, and we see them all in church. Everybody went to church back then on a Sunday, and it was just such a great feeling to know what my father did in the community and how people looked up to him for providing jobs. So that's always been easily the corner and basis of everything I do, creating jobs and opportunity.
And I'm so glad you brought that. You're really helping me with my segue because Urban Lending Solutions, as I mentioned, one of the nation's largest minority-owned companies. It ranked being one of the top 25 minority-owned companies by Black Enterprise Magazine. And then you were also noted for having over 200 employees. So congratulations on all of that. But what I want to pull from that is out of the 200 employees, correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of those people were people that you gave second chances to.
Right. And yeah, let me be clear. Yeah, there we had over 200 employees in Pittsburgh. Overall, we had 3,000 employees. So it was, yeah. And, and it was, the fact of the matter is you hire from the social circle you're in, your churches, your restaurants, your clubs. So fortunately enough, I was able to offer a lot of minorities jobs. Probably 70% of our workforce was African American. And that was just great because it was people from the community, people I went to church for. You know, one of my first buildings, you were upstairs, I was downstairs. You would do marketing for me. I mean, it was just wonderful to be able to hire companies like yours at the time to come aboard, a minority-owned, female-owned company, you know, go back with your husband's family. It was just wonderful how we all worked together for years. So that was a great part of Urban Lending Solutions.
Yeah, we made me think back. I used to be in the same building with you. You were actually starting to take over that building. I had like the whole floor, and I had like one little office. You took over the whole. You took over like 3 floors.
Yeah, we kind of bullied you up into a corner, but you know, that stopped real quick when them Drury starts showing up. That whole plan. We like, oh, let's back off.
So I want to also just say something else about Urban Lending Solutions. It was recognized by Inc. 500 as one of the fastest growing companies in the United States as well. So I say all that to say you understand business, you are a risk taker, but more importantly, you believe in creating businesses that reach back into the community and provide jobs.
Right. I think you can make, I call it, you know, social, I didn't coin the phrase, of course, but, you know, social conscious economics, you know, that you can make, you know, you can go into business, you can do what you think, but you can be socially aware of how your businesses are affecting your community, how you can, you know, take it to another level. We'll talk about it a little bit later. Like even right now, the businesses I'm really concentrating on made in America so we can create jobs and, you know, get people back to work. But yeah, I think you can be a socially conscious business. And I think as African Americans, we have to be. I mean, we just don't have enough platforms that are about growing, that are for growing business and can create generational wealth down the road for several people, for just not your family, but the families in your community.
And just in case for those who are just joining us, I'm talking to Chuck Sanders. He is the CEO of Blackburgh Corporation. So moving along in 2011, and I also was a part of this, you opened Savoy Restaurant, which is still located in Pittsburgh Strip District. Talk about that leap from, you know, the mortgage lending industry to the restaurant business.
Right. Well, really, it's, you know, I look at things as, you know, all encompassing and all under one umbrella of how we live our lives. You know, I mean, you know, no one wears the same clothes every day, the same shoes every day. I like variety. I also want to have multiple revenue streams. So the restaurant was a passion thing, a love of mine. I just grew up watching folks get together, eat together, communicate together. I know in this day and age, and even more so now, everything's done like we're doing right now over the phones and mobile. But back then, you know, still, you know how many great times we had down there and just sharing a drink, be it socially, business. I've done more business out of Savoy than anywhere. I just having a drink, talking to people. That's how I got into the cannabis business. We'll talk about that later. So that was really a labor of love. I had traveled a lot, and I've seen a lot of restaurants, and I've seen a lot of nice places, and I felt like Pittsburgh really needed one. And you know me, I'm one. If someone needs one, then I'm going to build it. So I was very proud to build Savoy, the restaurant downstairs, you know, the lounge upstairs, which is for our young folks to have a safe environment to go to and party. I mean, we get all old, we start, you know, acting like we ain't used to go to all the catering halls and fire halls and all those different places and have a good time. So really excited about Savoy. I'm excited about where we're headed with Savoy. We're going more towards the sports lounge when we open back up. Downstairs, it's been 10 years, just kind of redecorating, doing some things there. But Savoy was just, you know, it was in addition to all the other things that I do, not instead of. So really excited about that.
So let's talk about Blackburgh Corporation, because you sold Urban Lending Solutions. You founded Blackburgh Corporation. One thing that I love about your mission about it, and actually your mission on all of the companies that you own, is all about, again, you're in business to make money, but you also believe in educating, training, and employing people, uplifting them through employment. Blackburgh, you're really teaching them about, or individuals about, generational wealth. You speak a lot about that. And also, correct me if I'm wrong, but Blackburgh Corporation, would you say it's an investment company that's designed for everyday people?
Yes, you know what the way I design Blackburgh, and what I call, and my definition of everyday people are the workers, the people, the backbone of this country. I mean, the folks who really, you name it, the bartender, the bottle girl, the whole the entertainment servicing industry, doctors. I mean, your nurses. You know, everyday people that are just out here. The young lady who's selling her hair online, doing eyebrows. I want them to be able to have access to some areas that I think that there's barriers to keep them out of. The cannabis industry, the mortgage industry, the PPE injury, industry. How can a person who's a nurse or a local or national or a school teacher, how can they really invest in these situations and be an active investor, not just someone who's on Cash App? I have no hate against a Cash App now that you can buy a little bit of a stock and everything. I'm talking about an active participant with real good returns that can happen. So that was huge for me. I wanted to make the barrier in the entry level, that people can get in there. And that's why we started where we were at $1,000. So you can get in, be a part of it. And as the value grows, as the company grows, your stock grows. And like I tell a lot of people, think about the future. Think about your kids for this investment. Think about your grandkids for this investment, that they'll be sitting around 15, 20 years ago from now or whenever and saying, wow, grandpa really left us a lot in this Blackburgh.
Right. And I know you brought up the healthcare industry. I follow Blackburgh on Instagram. I saw that you did something recently. It was an event. Were you distributing masks?
Yes. One of the things we're doing, anything we do, we're going to make sure that we look out for the community, look out and have our charitable end. And one of the things we're doing is, we are in the PPE with the protective personal equipment, the masks, the gloves, the gowns for our first responders, for hospitals. We're doing a lot of work in New York. But we also, you're finding out now, people are really getting behind Orlana, and this is a warning to everyone out there that this mask situation and this PPE is really important. I mean, you can look on the internet, oh, yeah, it's easy to pick up a mask. Most of these raw materials come from China, come from Asia. And one thing that America got caught slipping on was our supply chain was too dependent on foreign products. So now they're gouging. I mean, the materials are going up 100 times from China, the Asian continent, on the products that make some things as simple as masks. So I bought into a factory in New York, and one of the things we're committed to is distribution of masks free of cost to those who need it. Now, to do that, we do charge a little extra for our products and services, but remember, you're contributing to Made in America and charitables in your communities. Plus, the price isn't that much off, and it'll probably even be equal now because people are just not going to be able to order masks and order these products from China.
And again, welcome everyone that's joining. You're tuned in to Down with ODD. I'm talking to Chuck Sanders. He is the CEO of Blackburgh Corporation. So we're talking about Blackburgh Corporation. You mentioned the protective industry. Blackburgh is also involved in real estate. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Hold on. As you know, as we told everybody earlier, I'm getting new to phones and IGs and Zoom.
That's all right. You're doing great.
So when I do this, can you see that little thing come up? I'm sorry. Okay.
I'm like, are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you, Orlana. I'm sorry.
Okay. So, I can see you. That's all I care about.
That's all you can see is me. Good. Okay. I got people texting me, and I'm like, well, stop texting me. So you don't see that little thing coming down, right? The text.
No.
Okay, good. No. Thanks to everybody who's watching for working with me. Thank you. I'm sorry. What was your question again, Orlana?
Yes. So Blackburgh Corporation, you're in the protective equipment. You also deal with real estate.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Blackburgh is we're investing in 3 or 4. The way I said Blackburgh was be able to pivot and to look at opportunities and be able to move quickly. I kind of call it my battleship PT boat mentality. Like we got to be ready. So when I seen what was coming on and with my relationships, I knew what was coming with the mask and those different things. Part of being a successful business person is knowing what the next trend is. And one thing I've been blessed with is being able to kind of know what's next. And so one of the things was PPE, and we jumped in. And the mortgage industry actually came around back to when I started. And when I was very successful in 2007 with the last housing crisis, and it's really loan modifications. Unfortunately, a lot of people cannot pay their mortgage right now. They're not going to be able to pay their mortgage for a while. The banks, the government's going to do a great job, I believe. They're already starting, the banks understanding this and knowing that we're going to have to modify loans and help people with loans. So the type of real estate I'm in is servicing banks, servicing government institutions on how to service loans, be it loan modifications, forbearance. They do not have the manpower to do those things, so they outsource it, and they outsource it to companies like mine. It just timed up really well that after I sold Urban Lending Solutions, my non-compete, I had a 3-year non-compete where I couldn't be in the industry, and that ended September 2019. So I added mortgages to the Blackburgh offering. I actually expected, I didn't expect to go operational with any of these things until 2021. But the pandemic just knocked down the doors, and I had to move quickly. So that's why we moved into PPE, loan modifications, and also medical marijuana and cannabis.
And that's what I was going to ask too. So Blackburgh, healthcare, real estate, and cannabis. Are those 3 main areas that you're focused on right now?
Those are our 3 major areas that we're focused on right now. I mean, you know, it does take a rocket scientist and a smart person to figure it out before it happens. Right. So I got to give myself a little pat on the back. But right now, you can't question that those are 3 major fields to be in, because a lot of people are getting through this crisis with the help of the medical marijuana, which helps with everything: anxiety, stress, pain management. You know, when I got into that business, I'm not going to fib. I thought about it from a standpoint of, whoa, this will make a lot of money and blah, blah, blah. I expected to walk into my center and see a bunch of young people who used to smoke outside, and they're smoking. Totally wrong. It was totally people who are, you know, afflicted with very crippling diseases coming to get medical marijuana, helping people with depression, people who just need, you know, every day need a little, you know, pick me up, need a little sativa in their lives. So I'm really excited about where we're at on cannabis, and where we're at on cannabis online. We're one of the first companies to be licensed to be able to provide cannabis products and services online to homes. So Cannabis Cafe online will probably launch in about 2 weeks. This is legal doses of cannabis. You know, the THC levels are legal, and it helps with all kind of elements.
And you were actually ahead of the curve. You said you're a trendsetter, which you are. I mean, you see the trends. You had already introduced that market to Pittsburgh before it was really like hot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, I was blessed to really, like I said, see some things and know a lot of people. And, you know, I travel, I sit in a lot of rooms, I sit on a lot of boards, I see things. I mean, it's funny, sometimes people travel and they'll go, wait a minute, I was in so-and-so, I seen those same forks you got in Savoy in Japan. And I'm like, yeah, we'll need to tell somebody about that.
Like,
that was before all this, that was before all this internet stuff. So I'm old. But yeah, you know, we started the cannabis business probably 6-7 years. Me and we started, and then the mortgage business obviously 20 years ago, and even the PPE. You know, we started around, you know, October of last year, getting ready.
I just want to let you know, someone said Chuck for president. So just to let you know.
Oh no! I'm good.
I had already said he was the mayor of Pittsburgh. So
yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna stay out of public office. I don't got the information.
So you mentioned, so Blackburgh was launched this year, right? 2020?
It was launched actually September of 2019.
Okay.
But we really went live January of this year because of a lot of legal things we had to get straightened out. I want to make, because it is an SEC regulated offering. Blackburgh is an investment firm. It's an investment firm that goes and invests in other companies. We own 100% of a lot of companies. Some we own portions of it. We purchase stocks, private stocks that people don't know about yet, and it all goes up into Blackburgh and grows the value of Blackburgh, which in turn grows the stocks and the dividends that are paid to our shareholders.
Okay, so we're almost done. Just a couple more things. We were talking about overall all of your businesses, from Urban Lending Solutions, Savoy. You and your wife had created Chuck Sanders Charities. Everything is, of course, it's business. You want to make money, but you empower people with your businesses, which is awesome. With Blackburgh, you are promoting generational wealth. You had mentioned that Blackburgh, if you are an investor, that you're an active investor. What does that mean?
Yes. What that means is, when I say active investor, all my investors, they get a newsletter. They know what's going on. For instance, they know that we're going online with Cannabis Cafe and a Blackbird PPE and within the next 20, 30 days. So our people, basically, I got a sales force in place. So I have 1,000 people. And I think anybody would agree nowadays, 1,000 people can easily reach 200 people. Anybody, even me in high school when I had nappy hair and a big nose and nobody would talk to me and a big lip, I still, to have 200 friends would have been great. Nowadays, everybody can reach 200 people, So, and I want to say I was an ugly duckling that grew into a very handsome young man. My psychiatrist told me to say those things to myself.
You're so humble.
Yeah, I'm so humble. My psychiatrist told me to say that stuff to myself. Now, anyway, so what happened was, so I got 1,000 people who are Blackburgh family. They can reach out to 200 people, and we got to understand multiples. That's 200,000 people that every day they're going to be able to sell our products and services to. They make money on click charges. Their value is growing up in their stock, and at the end of the year, we're profiting and they get a nice dividend check. So it's always through the different platforms that we make money, we move our products, we move our services. We got a built-in sales force, and it really is a win-win situation for everybody.
Now, I remember when you launched Blackburgh, you were only asking for a certain number of investors. Is there openings still available for anyone that wants to invest, or are you working with what you have?
There is still openings to invest. I've been advised that it's not the best business move, but this really is legacy for me. This really is, that 10, 20, 15 years from now, somebody can go look back and say, hey, I'm glad I got in that. And not to brag, but to inspire. I always say that. A lot of things that I've done is because I was inspired by my father. I was inspired by other men in business, Earl Graves, the great people, Alan Lincoln, the Davenport family. So I would like to hope to do that. So I'm still keeping it open for 30, 60 days because the key is I only am issuing 20,000 shares of stock. And that's significant because a lot of people sell a lot of stock and just keep upping the offering. But that waters down the other investors' stock. I refuse to do that. There's 20,000 shares. When those 20,000 shares are gone, they're gone. I opened up some of my shares because I want more people to be involved because even I know where this is headed. I know how successful this is already becoming, and I want to get as many people involved as possible, but it will end at some point.
Okay. And then my last question that I have a comment.
Sure.
Did I see, and again, I told you, I follow Blackburgh on Instagram. In fact, it's Blackburgh Corp on Instagram. I saw that, and I think it was with your investors. Do you hold sessions or classes?
Yeah. Yes, we do have seminars, and like everything else, they have now come online. If you go on Blackburgh Corp, or if you go on Chuck Sanders 4352, my IG, and go into my bio, and the link is right there to the seminars. Our next seminar is actually on my birthday this Friday, 4/24 at 5 o'clock, and where we go have the seminars and we go over exactly what the Blackburgh offering is and how you can get involved.
All right. Well, thank you so much. My name is Orlana Darkins-Jury. You've tuned in to Down with ODD Community Conversations. It's every Wednesday on KS Theater or IG Live. If you want more information about Blackburgh Corporation, their website is blackburgh.com. And the Berg is spelled like Pittsburgh.
Right. And Orlana, let me just say, you've been around not a long time because you're such a young lady, but I just really applaud everything you're doing in the community. It's tough, and I just really applaud everything you're doing in the class you bring and the professionalism you bring to our community. You're a real treasure in Pittsburgh, and people need to know that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And again, Blackburgh website is blackburghcorp.com. And you can also follow them on Instagram. It's the same, Blackburgh Corp. Yep. Chuck Sanders, CEO, Blackburgh Corporation. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. Always good to see you. Tell the family I said hello.
I will. Thank you to everyone that joined us and stayed tuned in. And I look forward to seeing you all next Wednesday at 2 p.m. I'll be talking to Kia Tomlin. So I'll see you next week at 2.
Thank you. Bye-bye.